Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry for the belated video here. I know I promised you a video every Friday and I made 2 videos in a row, then I went 2 weeks without making a video. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to do better, but sometimes I kind of get like, I don't know what you call it, not wanting to do it. Isms, I don't know. I don't know, depression, I guess. I don't know if I was depressed or just not wanting to do anything. But I just didn't feel like making videos for a while. Anyway, we are almost done with Amelie. And then I don't really know what to read next, but I thought maybe I would go a bit further back and read some fan art. I mean further back in the years. For anybody who ever played Ultima Online, I have a little fan art of Ultima Online that I wrote a while ago, and I thought I would give that a try and read that after I'm finished with Amelie and see what you guys think. It's not that long, so maybe it'll probably take maybe two videos, maybe max 3. I don't know, it's kind of short. So anyways, we will read the last part of Amelie, and then I will read the first part of the new story, which is called, what is it called? I have it right here. It's called A Hard Bitter Lesson, an Ultima Online fan fiction, and it was written in 2002. But we will save that for the last, after Amelie's finished. And I just need to find out, I know we weren't that far along toward the end, so I think we were like a page to the end, and then there was a paragraph, and I think, okay, so, I don't know, I might be reading this, I might read this over again. You might recognize this from the video before this. That's just because I'm trying to catch up to where we left off. But I believe we got a whole page and then like just a little paragraph left, and then I will start on the new story. I apologize if the ending is crappy. I wrote it a long time ago, so don't get your hopes up for a ending that brings everything together. Okay, and I hope you guys don't unsub because of that, because I wrote this a long time ago. And, yeah, no excuses, but kind of excuses. Okay, let's see, I'll start at the beginning. I will start at the top of the page where Melissa was talking with her boyfriend, I believe. Okay. Oh, and Amelie showed up. That's right, okay. What is it, Amelie? Melissa asked her boyfriend Douglas, who stood behind her. He was older than she, but I did not know how much older. Oh, I think it's Amelie talking now. Yeah, it's from the point of view of Amelie. Okay, got it. I struggled with the story, my heart pounding in my chest, and I never felt so much like hiding beneath my bed as I felt at that moment. Melissa hushed my cries and ushered me into the house. As the oldest of 5 children, my cousin was more grown up at 11 than some women are at 30. She took me into her bedroom and put me to bed. I asked her where my aunt and uncle were. Where's my aunt and uncle? Where's my aunt and uncle? Oh, we killed them. No, just kidding. I don't think her, wait, I think, Melissa wanted to be a vampire in a few chapters ahead of this, didn't she? Yeah. In, like, current time period here. Okay, let's see. Don't worry, Amelie, she said to me. Mommy and Daddy are sleeping. We don't want to wake them. But my father is dead, I cried in a subdued tone. Oh, so she's like, but my father is dead, I cried in a subdued tone. A monster came who looked like a man, and he... Shh, I know, Amelie, Melissa said. Douglas and I will take care of everything. You just go to sleep, and in the morning, the monster will be no more. But, Dad will still be dead, I sobbed. Won't he, Melissa? That's me, that's my acting abilities. I'm talented, aren't I? Okay, one answer. And I lose my place. Yay. I thought, won't he? Melissa glanced at Douglas, as if she were afraid to answer. Douglas said to me kindly, Yes, Amelie, he will be. Yes, your dad will be dead forever. I'm so sorry to tell you this, you're just a little tiny child, but you must face the hard truth. And we're going to make you look at the body at the funeral, and even kiss the cheek of your dead father. I don't know. I wasn't allowed to go to funerals when I was a little kid, because it would be too traumatizing. I don't know. You know, I'm just imagining that's what her family, her family would make her do. Well, I don't know, sometimes closure is good, but if you're too young, I mean, geez, I mean, come on. They'll be in therapy forever when they get older. Kind of like break news, like death and stuff, slowly to kids. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't think you should just like shove their face in it. Your family's dead, go to the funeral, and you know, I mean, go to the funeral, yeah, but like don't make them go up to the body, or if they have the body, or you know, I mean, just tread lightly when it comes to little kids and death. That's my opinion. I think you want to like pay for years of therapy later. Okay, so I'm sorry for all that opinionated talk, but this is my channel. I guess I can be opinionated if I want to be. If it doesn't get me in trouble. Hopefully it won't. Okay, on to the story. Not like anybody's actually watching this, so it doesn't even really matter. Oh my god, I just had a pity party for myself right now. I'm so sorry. I know there's some of you guys that are watching, and I know I should be careful of like going off on tangents. I don't know, I'm just like feeling weird right now. It's a weird day, night. It's actually like 9 o'clock at night that I'm recording this. And I'm going off on a rambling tangent again like I tend to do. Okay, so sorry. Let me continue before I start talking and not making any sense. Not that I made sense before, but you guys get it, right? Right. Okay, make sure of it. No, Emily cried, as a string of visions came to an end. No, it's not supposed to be this way, ever! So I guess she's back to her, you know, she was having this little flashback, so now she's back to her current adult self. She must... Oh, and she had that little kid that she tried to kidnap. That's right, I remember that now. See, when I don't update, I forget what's in my own story. I forget what I read, and I forget what it's about. You know, I don't know, this is just weird. I don't even know how old I was when I wrote this, in my teens, I guess. Kinda sounds like it, actually. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm in the basement, it's cold down here. My nose is a little bit stuffed up because it's cold down here. I have allergies that pop up like all the time and make my nose like runny and everything, so I'm so sorry if I'm sniffling halfway through this video. Yeah, and I do it again, sorry. Okay, Emily, whatever. Emily knew what she had to do. She must kill this child quickly and suffer the pain of severing the bond she now shared with this girl. I can't do it, she cried within herself as she wrapped her hands about the girl's neck and squeezed. I must, another voice cried as well, as the child's face became crimson. I don't want her to end up like me. I'm losing my place. Up like me. She should be older, wiser, not a helpless child. I should wait a few more years and then kill her. Yeah, that's good. Wiser, not a helpless child. I must end her now while the bond is so weak. Later it shall become strong, and I shall have to finish what has begun. I shall never allow that to be. As she went about strangling the child, Emily heard the girl's voice in her mind, beseeching, sweet and clear. Why do you hurt me, Emily? You know that I love you like a daughter. Why, Emily, why? You just met me like 5 seconds ago, and I only like tasted your blood, and you didn't taste my blood, but we're bonded somehow. Somehow that's the way things work in this universe. Okay. I don't think there's any universe. Why, Emily, why? Another fragment of memory came to her then, of her cousin, Melissa, as she sat upon her bed and stared down at her. Melissa's eyes looked strange, I thought, as I sat up and rubbed the sleep from my own. I looked at her again, and felt something was wrong with her. Suddenly, I knew it was not my sweet little mother of a cousin. That sounds like didn't I say that last time? That sounded like a bad word. You mother of a cousin, instead of you son of a, you know what? I think I did comment on that last time. You mother of a cousin. Okay, so where was I at? Why? As she sat upon the bed and stared down at her. My hair is getting in my way here, people. I'm so sorry. I really like this hair though, it's kind of cool. It goes dark and then it turns like hot pink and then light pink at the end. I thought it'd be cool to wear this shirt because it kind of goes with the color scheme. Anywho, continuing on. Come on now, find your place and continue on. We're all waiting for you. Suddenly, but I could see through the disguise into the essence of the monster beneath. She opened her mouth, and I could see 2 golden lights shining from within that darkened, moistened maw. So what, did she swallow a flashlight or something? Which I think I said last time too. I'm remembering bits and pieces that I read in the other video. So I'm sorry if this is kind of a recap a little bit. Lights do this, I don't know. Show it as mine. I backed away and heard myself ask, "Why, you're not my cousin. Where's Melissa? What did you do to hurt my why did you hurt my family?" This is kind of reminding me of the Little Red Riding Hood when the wolf ate the grandmother, in a little bit. What big teeth you have, Melissa. And the better to suck your blood out with, my dear. I don't know. Okay. And she, or it, or whatever it was, who was pretending to be my cousin, said to me, "Because I changed my mind," Emily said to Karen. So now we're back to Emily talking to the little girl now. Her flashback's over, apparently. "I changed my mind," Emily said to Karen. "I changed my mind. He let me go that night, Karen. He knew that I would come for him one day, so he let me go. He knew that I would come for him one day, so he let me go." So is this Emily's just having like flashbacks like every freaking 5 minutes, it seems like? She's like going off in a trance in the middle of doing something, like she's in the middle of killing something and she goes off into a trance. I mean, if I were that little girl, I would use that opportunity to run the fuck away. Sorry for dropping the F-bomb. But I think I cussed before in my other videos. I'm sorry though, I don't mean to. I shouldn't do that. I know it doesn't really sound right. I know if you people say that if you cuss a lot it makes you sound stupid, but I don't care. There are certain times when cussing is appropriate, in my opinion. Okay, and as we all know, my channel, my opinion, my rules, right? Right. I mean, if you guys don't like me cussing, I care. I won't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Well, I won't not do it anymore. I will try not to do it anymore, but, you know, cussing might slip in or out here or there. Okay, I better continue because I'm kind of running out of time here. Change my mind, release the child, I changed my mind. He let me go that night, Karen. You come from... Oh, I already read that part. Okay. She released the child and sank to her knees in weariness. Oh, wait. Are we, like, reading a third-person narrative now? Would I switch from first person to third person? Freaking hell. I'm confusing myself here. Why didn't I just stick to one point of view? This is so annoying. I'm just getting angry at myself. So freaking annoying. God. Oh, it's annoying that I'm playing with my hair. I'm so sorry. I will knock it off. It's just, it keeps falling over my shoulder and bugging me. Okay. Answer, Melissa. Okay. She released the child and sank to her knees. He kissed my lips before he left me. And now we're back on first person. God. He kissed my lips before he left me, and all my memories were washed away. I still can't recall the time between my father being killed to the time I grew up and became what I am now. What about your mother being killed? My mind has been in such turmoil these past centuries. All I know is that I must keep searching for him. I must. He will give me back my mind, all of it, and I shall end his existence once and for all. Karen, Emily said softly, as she looked down at the girl who... Turning the page. Who was lying so still on the roadside. Her breath and heart had ceased by Emily's hands at her tender throat. Oh, her breath and heart ceased by Emily's hands at her tender throat when she was strangling her. Oh, Karen, forgive me. Emily walked a little ways, looking down upon the ground until she found what she was searching for. She carried the stone in one hand. It was long, and on one end had been chipped to represent a point. So she had time to, like, stop and whittle away at a rock until it was a sharp, pointy rock thing. I don't know. I just don't know, people. It would be messy work, but Emily decided that since she had lost her knife some time ago, this would have to do. What's wrong with just sucking out her blood until she dies? Why do you have to, like, make it so violent? Jeez. You're a vampire. Just drink her freaking blood until she passes away. You know, I mean... You don't have to bash her face in or skull in with a freaking rock. You can do it that way. You're a vampire. Be a vampire. God damn it. Sorry, more cussing. Throat and so, okay. She used the pointed end of the rock and cut the child's throat and severed the head from the shoulders. See, it's just, why? It was messy and took a lot of work to do. You could just drink her blood and feed yourself and kill her and not make a huge mess. But Emily was glad that the throat was so thin as it was. It made it a bit easier to do. Well, thank God for small favors, right? Emily stood up and tossed a stone into the wheat field to her left. She knew that the job was only half finished. She looked around for anything to aid her in the rest as she heard the sounds of people yelling and cars being driven down the road. She would have to act swiftly, she knew, and then retreat into the shadows where she belonged. So she's in the middle of the road, murdering this child, and people are coming at her. And it's a small town, apparently. Does she not think that they're gonna, like, track her down and find her? Maybe she has some, like, old school vampire powers. You can turn into a bat or something and fly away. I don't know, because I'm at the end of the story and I didn't write anymore. I'm so sorry. And that was, oh wait, Shadows to Where She Belonged. That was actually the end of the story. And my author's note tried to wrap everything up, which it didn't at all. And I'll just read it. And I know you guys are going to hate me for this. But this is all I wrote. A little note from the author. There is more to this story than what is written here, yet I did not know it. Yeah, okay. Neither Emily nor Melissa wished to continue more. I was making it sound like they're actually real people, like, telling me the story. I suppose the pain of what they endured was too much, and they wished to be silent now. But I promise you, when and if they do wish to speak again, I shall record their words faithfully for you, the reader, to ponder upon. For now, I shall leave you with the puzzle, which is only halfway completed, and allow you to wonder. Well, wonder about the ending, apparently. I shall not write the end, for as Emily would say, every time something ends, something more begins, and we are forever. And that was the most cop-out ending I've ever written, and I apologize for that. You guys are all, like, invested in the story, and it ended all crappy and didn't bring any loose ends together. And I kind of ran out of time, so I don't really have time to, well, maybe I have time to read the first chapter of this story, okay? This is going to be a kind of a long video. I apologize for that, too. And I need to quit saying I apologize for everything, or that's going to get annoying. So anyways, this story is called A Hard Bitter Lesson. And for those who are fans of Ultima Online, if you guys remember that far back, it was an online role-playing game, much like World of Warcraft, except for it had a bird's eye view. When you'd play your character, everything was from you. You would look at it like you were a bird looking down on your character. It was kind of fun. It was awesome. I liked it. It was a fun game to play. If you guys want to know, I think it's still going, actually. I think there's still people that play the game. I haven't played it for years, since 2002 apparently. But I liked it so much I wrote a fan fiction about it based on my character, and there's some elements of the, World of Warcraft, Ultima Online universe in here, some of the monsters and stuff and everything. So this story is called A Hard Bitter Lesson by me. Oh, my name's Amy, by the way. You guys probably knew that already. I think I mentioned it in my first video. Alright, here we go. A Hard Bitter Lesson, an Ultima Online inspired story, introducing the main character, Amara. Emily. I'm so used to saying Emily. Her name was Amara. She will take it from here, and I wrote it all in the first person narrative. This is just because I started writing in first person, it was easier to do it that way. It was 10 years ago, when I was a much younger woman, really not much more than a girl. The sun was just peeking from behind the horizon when I heard the sound of my sister's giggle. Her laugh sounded like the tinkling of bells, and most people found it endearing, so it was that would be annoying, not endearing. I rolled over in the small bed and pulled the thin wool blanket to my chin and groaned rather loudly. I heard Mother whispering something in her soft elfin tone. So she was an elf. My character, Amara, was an elf. And she had an elf family. Elven family, of course she would. Okay, because she's an elf. That makes sense, right? Okay. I heard Mother whisper something in her soft, elfish tone of voice, and soon Alora was calling me from the doorway. Amara, arise! The day is new! And you're still abed? The day is new and you're still abed? So I was trying to make it sound like, you know, old-timey, like medieval talking. Medieval talking. I can't even speak normally in this day and age. So that's why the dialogue's kind of weird, because I was trying to like go for a medieval way of speaking in the story. And Alora is her twin sister, by the way. Okay. I heard the smile in her voice. Cracking one eyelid, I looked across the room and noticed that her bed was made nice and tight. Alora always was the neat and prissy one. Sometimes it annoyed me that we looked so much alike on the outside, yet on the inside we couldn't be more different. I turned over and groaned again. My whole body felt like someone had thrown me down a steep rocky hill, and I hit every rock on the way to the bottom. Father and I had gone over sword drills the day before. From sun up till sunset we practiced with wooden practice weapons. I had gotten in a few good hits, and parried better than I had the last time we sparred. But still, I knew I had a long way to go before I could match him sword for sword. I sat up and swung my long legs over the side of the bed, and wondered again why exactly I was so adamant about becoming adept with the blade. Mother, Yashkina, her mother's name was Yashkina. I don't know, I made it up. Don't ask me where I got it. I think I might have found it on one of those online name generators, or I think I might have made it up. But that's her name. Okay. Where is it? Mother Yashkina, who was a full-blooded elf and had powers that most people thought were a bit odd, entered the room I shared with my twin and sat down on the side of the bed. She placed her hands across my aching back, and I felt soothing warmth from her fingers and palms as healing magic flowed from her to me and eased my pain. Better, my daughter? She smiled at me, and I looked at her over my shoulder, thinking again that Alora and I looked more like her than my father. But at least I had his eyes, deep, liquid brown. Alora had been gifted with eyes the color of a spring sky, like our mother. You wear yourself out, if only you knew. Her eyes became dim, and her delicate brows drew together across her forehead for a moment, as she withdrew into herself. She often became so. I feared that living so close to humans was affecting her, and worried about her health and mental state. Perhaps if we planned a trip to her birth home. Mother, I asked, reaching to touch her shoulder. Are you well? Oh, yes. She shook her head slightly. Flame-red hair loose and long, moved slightly with the motion, and she squeezed my hand. Come, Amara, get dressed and hurry to the kitchen. We must discuss something with you. I quickly donned my plain blue dress and sandals. I draped the cotton nightgown I had been wearing across the bed. I left my dark blue cloak hanging on the peg near the door, and brushed my own fiery locks till they looked presentable. I tied my hair back at the nape of my neck in a ponytail with a strip of leather. Amara! Alora ran to me and embraced me. As I hugged her, I watched our parents, for my father had entered and was standing, tall and broad-shouldered behind my mother, his hands resting protectively on her thin shoulders. Soft smiles were pasted on both their faces, and I was more than curious as to this early morning family gathering. So, what's going on, Mother? What are you so excited about, Alora? Amara, my father, Lars Rain. Oh, her full name is Amara Rain. And Rain is spelled with an E at the end, and Amara is spelled with an H at the end. So it's A-M-A-R-A-H and R-A-I-N-E. And her father's name is Lars, for some reason, I don't know. Amara, my father, Lars Rain, warrior and skilled fencer, began. Your mother and I have decided to allow you girls to be educated away from home. I looked at them. Alora wore an expectant, hopeful expression. I knew she loved her books, and would like nothing better than to spend her life engulfed within them. It's always been her dream to see the great libraries of Britain, and meet the scholars of Magica. I think I pronounced that wrong. Magic. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it Magica. It was the World of why do I keep saying that? I mean Ultima Online. God. Yes, I did play World of Warcraft too. I had a character on that. I played that a lot too. And I don't know, I keep thinking about it. So, it's probably because this is a role-playing game, I keep thinking about World of Warcraft. But this is Ultima Online. Anyway, yeah. Magica is the Ultima Online world kind of name. Or maybe, I think it's that continent that they were on of the universe. It was called, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. I'm sorry. I was always a poor student. During studies, while Mother tried to teach us numbers and words, how they played a vital part of our lives, I dreamed of being outside and on adventures. I longed to be seeking out the happenings, which Alora seemed content to live through stories only. Isn't it wonderful, Amara? Alora beamed, and I suddenly felt like striking her. Her face so much like my own, looking for all the world like King Britain had just blessed her and made her queen. I turned on her. How can you say that, Alora? My face was becoming inflamed, but I didn't care. I was angry. How can it be wonderful? You know how much becoming an inventor like our father means to me. How can I put aside my training for a pile of dusty books and some creaky old teacher's ramblings? Amara, Father said in a stern tone, and I looked at him, my eyes damp with tears I wanted to fall, but I held them in check due to pride only. One of the most noticeable things, besides my love of the blade, I had inherited from my human father, was his strong sense of pride. Enough. Your mother and I've thought this through, and it would be in your best interest to follow your sister to be better learned. But what of my training? You said so yourself yesterday, that I still need a lot of work. I was whining and I knew it. I seemed unable to stop myself. It would be horrid if I had to stop training. It will only be for 1 or 2 turns, Amara. Turns of the season. Years, basically. Okay. Oh, wait, that was Alora speaking. I'm sorry. It will only be for 1 or 2 turns, Amara, Alora said, her face turning all uppity, as if she were better than me just because she was a better student. I hated when she got that way. Really? You'd think you were leaving for an entire century. Why, I began, as I looked at each face I knew there would be no changing any minds. Did you all have to tell me this so early in the morning? Couldn't you have waited until we were all at the dinner table at least? No, my father said. You were leaving this afternoon, as soon as your escort arrives. What? I cried. But I haven't even said goodbye to anyone. Aunt Jaya, Uncle Samar, our cousins. Yeah, I made up that name too. Their aunt's name was Aunt, and I spelled it J-E''Y-A-H. I don't know, it sounded elfish, I guess. I don't know if I'm supposed to pronounce it with, like, Jaye, or I guess that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Just go with it, I guess. And Samar kind of sounded like Sam, but it sounded kind of like, you know, fictional kind of, you know, kind of sounded like elvish-ish sounding name. Although I don't remember if they're supposed to be humans or elves. Depends on what side of the family they're on, I guess. Cousins are... Anyway, so I think, you know what, I lost my place here. Our cousins. Oh, there, I found my place, I'm sorry. Okay. I was talking to my father's brother and his wife. I guess I could have continued reading and find out the answer to my own question, right? Who lived in a modest thatched roof house with their 2 children, Agnes, a 7-year-old girl, and Omar, their infant son. I would sorely miss them. If I would be gone for 2 or 3 years, as Alora had just said, I wanted to at least say farewell to people. This was less than fair. They'll hear from you from time to time, Mother put in. You are allowed to write letters home from school, you know. Child, the time will pass before you know it. As I turned my back on them, I felt my father's hand and fought the urge to run. His voice was anything but soothing as he said, Amara, I shall like to speak with you, in private. Follow me out of doors, will you? Anyways, I'm gonna stop here because it's already like a half-an-hour long video and I didn't mean for it to be this long. But I'm so sorry for the ending of Amara, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the Ultima Online fan fiction that I wrote, and I believe the ending of this story is a lot better. So, I will see you guys later. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all those wonderful fun things, and I will see you next time. Later. Bye, everybody.